48 teams want to reach the World Cup. Only one will become world champion. But before a team can even think about lifting the trophy, it has to qualify. And qualifying for the World Cup is much harder than most people think. Some countries spend years trying and still fail. Others qualify comfortably. A few nations have never qualified at all. So how exactly does World Cup qualification work? Here is everything you need to know. The first thing to understand is that not every country automatically gets a place at the World Cup. FIFA has more than 200 member nations. The World Cup only has 48 spots. That means most countries will never even make it to the tournament. The host nations are the only exception. For the 2026 World Cup, the United States, Canada, and Mexico automatically qualified because they are hosting the tournament. Everyone else has to earn their place. To make qualification possible, FIFA divides the world into 6 regions. These regions are called confederations. Europe has UEFA. South America has C, O, N, M, E, B, O, L. North and Central America has CONCACAF. Africa has KF. Asia has AFC. And Oceania has OFC. Each confederation receives a certain number of World Cup spots. Bigger and stronger regions usually receive more places. Europe receives the most. Oceania receives the fewest. This means countries are not competing against the entire world during qualification. They are competing against teams from their own region. Let's start with Europe. European qualification is often considered the most difficult because so many strong teams are competing for places. Countries like England, France, Germany, Spain, Portugal, Italy, and the Netherlands are all trying to qualify at the same time. European teams are divided into groups. Each team plays home and away matches against the other teams in its group. A win earns 3 points. A draw earns 1 point. A loss earns 0. At the end of the qualification campaign, the best teams qualify directly. Some second-place teams enter playoffs. The playoffs create extra drama because one bad match can end a country's World Cup dream. Now let's move to South America. South America's system is completely different. There are only 10 countries in the region. Instead of groups, every team plays every other team home and away. That means each nation plays 18 qualification matches. Imagine Argentina playing Brazil twice, Uruguay twice, Colombia twice, Chile twice. Every team faces everyone. This format is brutal because there are no easy matches. Every country spends years battling for a place at the World Cup. Africa has perhaps the most unpredictable qualification process. The continent contains dozens of nations with passionate football cultures. Teams are divided into qualification groups. The winners advance while many strong teams are eliminated. Every qualification cycle produces surprises. Some famous nations fail to qualify. Some underdogs reach the World Cup for the first time. That's one reason African qualification is often considered one of the most exciting in football. Asia follows a multi-stage qualification process. Smaller nations begin in early rounds. The strongest nations enter later. Teams are gradually eliminated until only a handful remain. Countries like Japan, South Korea, Saudi Arabia, Australia, and Iran often compete for qualification places, but surprises can happen. North and Central America use a qualification system of their own. Teams battle through several rounds before reaching the final stage. Every match matters because a single defeat can completely change the standings. Nations like the United States, Mexico, Canada, Costa Rica, Panama, and Jamaica regularly compete for World Cup places. Then there is Oceania. Oceania has fewer countries than the other confederations. New Zealand is usually considered the strongest team in the region. For many years, even winning Oceania did not guarantee qualification. Teams often had to survive an additional playoff against a country from another continent. For the 2026 World Cup, Oceania received an automatic qualification place for the first time, making the road slightly easier for teams in the region. But qualification is not just about winning matches. It is also about surviving pressure. Imagine spending 2 years trying to qualify for the World Cup. Every international break matters. Every point matters. Every goal matters. One mistake can destroy years of work. That pressure creates incredible drama. Some nations qualify with matches to spare. Fans celebrate in the streets. Players cry tears of joy. Entire countries come together to celebrate. Other nations experience heartbreak, a missed penalty, a last-minute goal, a controversial refereeing decision, a defeat on the final day. Sometimes a country's World Cup dream disappears in a matter of seconds. One of the most famous examples happened in 1993. The United States needed a result from another match to qualify. A late goal changed everything and helped send them to the World Cup. Moments like these happen in almost every qualification cycle. The expansion to 48 teams has also changed qualification. Before 2026, only 32 teams reached the World Cup. Now there are 48 places available. That means more countries have a realistic chance of qualifying. For some nations, this is historic. Countries that previously had almost no chance now believe they can reach the biggest tournament in football. More teams, more matches, more opportunities, more dreams. But even with 48 places, qualification remains incredibly difficult. Many talented teams will still miss out. Some famous nations will still fail. Every World Cup cycle produces shocks. A giant falls, an underdog rises, a nation celebrates. Another nation is left wondering what went wrong. And that is what makes World Cup qualification so fascinating. Most fans only watch the World Cup itself. They see the final tournament. They see the trophies. They see the celebrations. What they don't always see is the journey, the years of qualification matches, the pressure, the heartbreak, the moments that decide whether a country reaches the tournament at all. Because before a team can dream of winning the World Cup, it must first survive the qualification process. And for many nations, qualifying feels almost as good as winning. The World Cup may last a few weeks. Qualification lasts years. And that journey is where the World Cup truly begins. The game has not changed. You have. You're welcome.